No Paula today, huh?
We'll see. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you all for being here. Today is Saturday, July 6th, and you can see up above I have my trusty compadre, Mr. Eric Byer. How are you doing, good sir?
Wonderful. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a great holiday.
It was fun. We didn't light any fireworks off. I bought coins instead.
Yeah, I didn't. We don't because of the dogs.
Yeah.
But it was pretty. It was kind of weird. There was a lot of them after 9 o'clock, but it was nothing. I mean, not one during the day. And usually around here, it's banging for a week.
Yeah,
we had in the morning.
We had about 2 days. That was really all we had. Hey, morning, Chappie, Starika, me. Thank you all for being channel members and mods. Appreciate you. Malcolm, Mandy's Candy, $1 million megas in the house. Woohoo. I'm online, but I'm a French model. Bonjour. Oh, hey, what's up, Starika? Comment allez-vous? Okay. Let's see. Who else do we have? Brown Sugar. How are you, my friend? Stacking with Kraken. Good morning. See Happy Chappy asks, was your wife excited? Yes, and I will get to that in just a moment. I am still taken back. Steve looking for silver, Eric, just so you're tracking. Through a little, my wife's doing a fundraiser to help her go on this mission, the medical mission trip she does every year. And they said, hey, we want to help you out for being a good dude. We love what your wife's doing. We want to come along and support you. So they had a little benefit last night to try to raise some money for her, and they crushed it. Like, it was really cool. So I'll be talking about that, and then I'll show the final tally here in just a minute, but it was really cool. Generally stunned, good morning. I hope you're doing well. Yes, the 4th of July was fun. Thank you very much. Let's see, Mandy's Candy's in the house. Mandy, thank you for being a channel member. I do appreciate you. And everybody who's I Skip, Kraken, thank you for being a channel member. Meg, thank you for being a channel member. For those who offer the support like that, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Again, all the stuff that I get from you guys goes right back into the channel, whether it be in giveaways or whether it be in researching and getting materials so that I can pull up information. My last 2 purchases were books so that I can actually understand more about certain items. And I did purchase a membership to a library so that, and I'm talking about a national library, so that I can go in and pull documents and actually get in to look at more stuff about coins. So there's going to be some cool stuff. But again, all your guys' memberships and stuff really help to further discussions and content on my channel. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. What's this now? I'm not stunned. Okay, fair point. Oh, good day. Okay, so just before we began, we were talking about the fun show. Eric had given me a little bit of information. You want to tell me a little bit about, or tell everybody else what you and I were talking about regarding fun show size tables, what people can expect?
Yeah. In the summer, it's down. It's usually 600-ish tables. We'll say that's probably good. I see they have 700 tables on their map. Winter Fun is usually, I'll say 1,200 tables, maybe 1,500 tables. It depends on the of course, the attendance. It's down in size over the last 10 years. I do not think it's the largest coin show in the country anymore. It did used to be. And that's about all the facts. But if anybody's at the fun show, try to look me up. I'll be there Thursday, and then I'll probably hit it Friday morning for a few hours, and then I'll drive home. So wouldn't mind meeting people.
Yeah, I would love to have gone down. It's just, I'm still recovering from, I
get it. Oh, that's like me. By the time the first week of August comes, I'm going to have to get small for a few months because that's 2 coin shows in a month is way too much for me to deal with. I'm going to have to watch my P's and Q's.
I would be in trouble. What's up, Sorcerer Stan? Good morning, good sir. That's another great supporting member of my channel. Larry Downing, my favorite pupil, always calls me Professor. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you a ton. Who did I miss? Azure Blue. Azure Blue snuck in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you coming in. So as you guys seen, today is But Insta said. So we're going to talk a little bit about social media and what it's doing to our hobby. We're going to kind of talk about some of the combating misinformation. You guys know that I'm big on this. I'm going to talk about the positive advents of AI. Again, prior to the stream starting, Eric and I were talking about a legal site that has some fairly decent AI, and it looked solid. It looked clear until somebody who's actually an attorney reviewed it, pointed out some items. Oh, man, okay. This is something.
Uh-oh.
He pulled the plug. He bought his Mercury key date 1916D. He picked up that coin. Congratulations, bud. I know you debated about it.
Crazy.
That's a beautiful piece. It's lower grade, but it doesn't. It's a 16D Merc, man.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter. So congratulations on picking up an amazing coin. That's something to be celebrated. Yeah, and he goes, Miss Me wants to buy it for me for Father's Day, and I'm like, my wife bought me a cake. So yeah, happy Father's Day to you, and give Mrs. Me a monster hug, because that's a hell of a gift. But congratulations on that, Me. That's awesome.
A tough coin to find. You just can't find those things around.
Yeah, he was down in, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were in St. Augustine, and he stopped in a little coin shop and found a couple decent deals. And actually the price he got it for is actually a fairly decent price. It's about $30 to $40 under what I could find sold listings for. Yep, in St. Augustine. And so him and I talked. I kind of gave him a range. Siren, what's up? Good morning. Good to see you. Siren's always awesome to mod on the portrait side, you guys. And so I want to give a huge shout out to her. She's always over there many times, popping in with one or two people who just come in to say hi and then leave. So thank you for being over there and doing that. I greatly appreciate your effort over there, Siren. Love you, my friend. Tomorrow I win new rig. He is.
Ooh.
You have to tell me about that. You have to tell me about that, Me. That sounds like a fun thing. All right. So again, we were talking about, I kind of got squirreled a little bit. We were talking about the, oh, and by the way, I did something. I'm not sure if you guys know this. In the chat window now presents the portrait side. Okay. So if you are watching on your stream and you can't see the portrait comments, actually look at the chat box just below me in your landscape view, and you will see chat from the portrait mode. So that way you can see what other people are saying in the other stream, and you can kind of communicate back and forth, because I can read what you say and then comment over. So if you see somebody over in the portrait side, again, it's down below me on the portrait side, or excuse me, on the landscape side, then you can say hi. So I wanted to try to set that up.
Almost 4K.
Yeah, almost 4K. Only 78 away. Hold on, maybe not even that. I think I gained a couple more subs last night. But I'm about 80 away from 4,000 subs. Insane. Is that better? If I'm not reading something, I don't need the glasses on. It's really good, but I've set my screen up a little different. Me gifted 5 memberships. Outstanding. Let's see who got those. Captain Vic, J Tizzo, Vegas Stacker, BH Ringer, and Thomas Hill. There's my brother from a San Antonio mother. What's up, freaking awesome? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Azure Blue says you have 2 live streams going. Yes, I do. One is vertical and one is landscape. I've been doing that for, God, what, 5 months now? 4 months now? So, yeah, just to try to give people more options. What's up, Miss Coin Crew? How are you doing, my friend? Hope you are doing well. She's probably getting ready for another day at the shop. Hope you have a good turnabout today. But yeah, so if you want to come up. Now, if you want to be on the other side, Azure, you can go click on the pinned comment, and the pinned comment will take you over to the landscape. If you guys are in landscape and you want to view it in portrait mode, go to the pinned comment and go to the other side. Go to the dark side. All right. How many times have I got squirreled from starting? Oh, I'm truly kindred spirits with Miss Coin Crew. No work for me. Oh, you're off today. You want to come up and chit chat and hang out with me? You can talk about things from your perspective. I can send you the link if you want to come up and visit. I would love to have you up to talk about this particular item. We are talking again for the people who just came in or didn't catch what I was talking about earlier. We're talking about misinformation, but we're talking about it from the lens of I heard it on Insta, or I heard it on YouTube, or I seen it in blah, 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 whatever it might be.
What is Insta?
Instagram.
Instagram? Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah.
Didn't know if it was something new that I was like
no, sorry.
Before.
I'm going to do something real quick. No, Instagram. So, and again, there's Instagram, Twitch, you got YouTube, you got so many different items here that when you look at the possibilities of, hold on, I am sending this to her.
I'm going to go get a refill real quick, Frosty.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm going to send the link to Miss Coin Crew, so give me just a second. And I'm going to throw that up. Bam. It should be on your way, Miss Coin Crew. Very cool. All right, we're good there. One thing that we see, social media is what allows me and allows us to come together and talk about things that we enjoy, right? It allows us to pull things together in a manner, in a session in which we're able to, from different walks of life, from different avenues, from different experience levels, come together and have conversation, chit chat, and fun regarding to our hobby, whether it be coin collecting, whether it be stacking, whether it be metal detecting, whatever it might be. What's up, Captain Vic? Good morning. Your video description is not correct. Oh, somebody saying that my SEO stuff is wrong. That's funny. Hope you're doing well, Captain Vic. But again, we're talking about social media. You're talking about the structure, the construct of what needs to happen, how it needs to happen, looking at some of the builds of things. And when you are looking at the information that comes from some of these channels, they use the same tactics as spammers. They use the same tactics as scammers. And that is the use of FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. And the fear of missing out is basically, oh my God, if you don't act on this, you're going to lose this. Oh my God, I can't believe that you haven't acted on this. Oh my God, what are you doing? You're not preparing for your kids' college, or what happens when you die? Oh my God, you're not set up. You don't have the things that need to be done. Oh my God, if you don't find this coin right now, this was just released. If you don't watch this video, oh my God, the world's going to end. There's going to be calamity. There's going to be chaos. You're going to die, right? And so they use a lot of the same tactics that scammers use to try and fool people into looking at some things like that knee-jerk reaction, that protection mode, right? Well, I don't want my family to be bad. And it targets elderly, but it also targets the uninformed. What's up, Big Apple? Forget about it. Hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you for coming in. And so it's really important that when you look at this, so I want to kind of talk about the fear of missing out, but I also want to talk about just blanket misinformation. Okay, so the blanket misinformation, and I'm not going to name any channels. You guys, by the description, may know who they are. I gave you a clue with Instagram. Instagram to YouTube should give you another clue. And of course, Instagram, YouTube, and then they've gone back and they're doing both. But how do you get a couple 100,000 subscribers in a couple months? Well, you bring everybody from Instagram over to your YouTube side and you spout the same misinformation. This just released, this era, this 1942. Hello, Miss Going Crew.
Good morning.
He's like,
Good
no,
morning.
don't show me. Don't show me.
Yeah,
No.
that was pretty scary right there.
I hope you're well this morning. Yeah. But what's important to look at is, and Miss Coin Crew, I'm thank you for coming up because you can talk about this from the vantage of some of the stuff that you guys get from the coin shop. But it's funny to watch some of these and just listen, right? You could see the AI generated ones and they show a picture of a 1909 Lincoln cent and they say, this 1955 double die is one of the most collectible coins there is. It's like not even the right coin, right? But a lot of people don't catch that. They don't hear it. They don't understand. They see something. They don't equate the words to the image. And then, people come in and they're like, hey, I heard this was a 55 double die. They bring in a 1909 coin. No, 1955 is a year. Doubled die is something that happens when this occurs, and so people just don't understand. So the first thing that you can do, number one, is watch, pay attention, really watch what you're watching. And if you see this from a couple people, now there are a couple channels I am calling out. Coins of Rosie happens to be a major one. Where
How
they
can I not ever look at that channel? I've never seen that one.
So here's the thing. I have removed any instance of notification. Like if it comes in the stream, I'm like, I don't want to see this. Right. They use AI. They take partial information. They get the big money coins and they're like, this just found. The other channel with the guy that tells you all the crazy stuff. I just found this one coin and it's amazing and you got to find it because it's, oh my God, you can find this in your pocket change. And he freaks out and he's really good about FOMO. He's really good about setting people on edge going, oh my God, I've got to look for this. Like I got to find this. Like I can pay my house off if I find this, right? I'm having a tough financial time.
Speaking of pocket change, I don't mean to interrupt, but if I don't, I'll forget. I'm going to try and find out what time period we could get an expert in pocket change searching on.
We have, we did follow up on that.
Meeting up with Brian this week, and we will see if we can't get a stream with the author of Strike It Rich with Pocket Change.
Beauty. I would be talking about that for quite a while. That would be awesome.
Real chances. I mean, because ultimately you can find anything in pocket change.
You can, but here's the thing. So,
but it's possible to get struck by lightning too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, I've got. I grabbed just 2 coins. I don't know what they are. Just grab them. Where are they? Okay, here's 2 coins. I have 2 coins here. One is a token. Yeah, it ain't gonna work. They're both tokens. You know what's funny? I have a kind of change, and I don't have any on my table. What the hell? Okay.
What? Your desk isn't piled up like mine, like all the way,
it's
where you have to dig through it.
Piled up with what's piled up with papers and packages from stuff, videos that I've done. Okay, I have 2 cents here. 2 Lincoln cents. One is a 1976 and one is a 1983. Okay. So I have these 2 coins and I am watching this particular channel. Oh my God. It was just discovered. This 1954 or this 1959 error was just discovered. Okay, well, first off, yes, those things happen. Yes, varieties are found. Variety error, right? And then they show you a coin that's been run over by a semi in the parking lot.
Right. Oh, I hate
Okay.
those emails. I get them all the time.
Yeah.
What is this worth?
Yeah. And so
it's like, it's worth nothing. And then the reply is, you just want to buy my coin for next to nothing. I said, I don't even want to buy your coin. I wouldn't even buy it for face value.
right. Yeah,
Good
Starik, exactly. My 1976 quarter that's, you can barely see the date on a 76. It's all worn down. You can see the copper core in it. And yeah, it's worth 10 grand. But the problem is that let's say that we have the 1983, we have a copper cent. And so it's like you want to look for the small date, you want to look for the large date, you want to look for the copper, the zinc, you want to look for, big D, little d, whatever it might be, right? So you're going through all the large, the small, you're checking the things, you're checking the content. But everybody wants to find the Holy Grail coin, right? Everybody wants to find that one small D copper that there's only, 4 of them or something like that?
I think 4, they just found, there was just one discovered in the last couple of years up in Illinois.
Yeah. So,
and I actually think all of them have been discovered up there.
Yeah. So what they don't do, right? What these channels don't do is they don't say how many of them there are. They just say, you can find this in your pocket change. And if you're due, it's worth $200,000, $300,000. And so everybody freaks to that. Everybody navigates to that because there's this, oh my God, I could be rich. And then Miss Coin Crew and Mr. Coin Crew get these people that walk into their shop, or Eric gets an email and says, hey, here's a 1983. I want my $40,000. So what benefit is that to the coin collecting community? Because what it does is it offsets people that might actually be genuinely interested in searching. Yeah, exactly. It sets people off from actually searching things and wanting to find it because they don't have the proper information. Another thing that really sets me off, we're talking about FOMO, and that is the pressure tactic. And the pressure tactic is one that's used quite frequently with the elderly, right? And you'll see this if you're really careful and you watch certain videos. Now, I've called out a couple channels. I called out a news agency on this, and I called out a major internet provider service, ISP, for posting stuff through their money channel on gold dollars and what senior citizens need to do to set themselves up for success. And they're like, and they gave them a whole bunch of horrible information. Now, this is a money market, supposedly author who is an expert in her field, right? So you get these people who are quote unquote sponsored by a major company that is feeding crap information. And they're saying, if you don't do this, you're not going to be able to take care of your loved ones. If you don't do this, you're not going to be taking care of the ones that you love.
Practices.
Say again?
Total predatory practices.
Oh, it's horrible. And so when you see these, a lot of people are like, oh, I love watching these because they're so stupid. They're funny. The problem is that you're engaging in supporting that. And a lot of people were like, well, if I dislike it, then they don't show it to as many people. That's wrong. Any type of engagement, a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a comment, rude, ignorant, or other, is engagement. And so they will purposefully do things. They will purposefully say stuff that's incorrect because their intent is to kind of pressure people into responding. A great example of this is there is a channel that is a gold bullion dealer. What's up, Compton? Long Beach. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
He must be on the other side.
But again, it's one of those things where there is and I'm not going to name the channels. He has come out and said it himself, and it was done in an interview. And this mint of gold and silver bars that have a Statue of Liberty on them said that I purposefully will call a silver or gold bar a coin. You guys have heard me say this before. And I do this on purpose. It builds engagement. People tell me all the time. I get thousands of comments every day. You don't know what you're talking about.
Would you mention the 1976 cent on your desk? Is it on your desk for any reason?
Yes, it is. It's
Okay.
in a roll that I just looked through, and I haven't put the roll away.
All right. I was going to say, I just happen to have a 1976 cent that's a pocket change find.
Yeah, there's an RPM on it.
Oh, this one's 76 Philadelphia. It's a double die.
Oh, cool.
But, it could be marketed as I found $5 and it cost me a penny. It might even be worth more than $5. It's actually a pretty nice double die. It's listed and all that, but a lot of people don't look for that stuff. But that's why I was wondering when you took 76 and 83, I was like, wow, I just found a 76 double die. I'm going to pull that out.
Yeah, it's an RPM,
file.
but it's nothing major.
Kraken.
Kraken with a $2 super chat. He's trying to challenge Sorcerer Stan. You can celery Stan. I don't know where the celery came from. There must be an inside joke there. Farm Dog with the $5 super chat. Outstanding. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you guys.
So yeah, I was just saying when you were talking about pocket change finds, I mean, this is probably an average pocket change find, and you can probably, couple bucks to $10 for most of them. But still, where do you get 500%?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, but when you're talking, but the problem is that when you're looking at, people don't want the $2 coin.
Right. People want $100,000 coin,
and they're far.
Is it impossible? No, it's not.
It's improbable.
They've been found.
It's improbable. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, what's important to understand is what's realistic in being able to find or collect a coin like that, right?
Yeah, and
so
that's why I put this thought about this coin was this is a realistic find that you can enjoy yourself, spend a lot of hours relaxing or however it does, and it's worth. I mean, it might even be worth $20 because it's a pretty good one.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, right? Targeting this again. Remember, we're talking about the information that you see on social media platforms. Or in advertisements. It doesn't have to be hey, Tiger, what's going on? Good morning, brother. It doesn't have to be associated socially or with just social media. Farm Dog just that. I don't know why it delays.
Yeah.
I have the alert set to 0 and it delays for like 10 seconds. I think it's the YouTube delay.
Yeah, they send a lot of things through the mail to older people.
Yeah. That is just crazy. And there's a guy, I don't even remember his name now. He is actually a renowned numismaticist. Back 30 years ago, he was like mainstream coin dealing, and somehow he got into this being a snake oil salesman. He must make good money at it.
There's a couple channels, and we've talked about one again. Yeah. I'm not going to name any of the channels, but we talked about one
big one that is like buys, from 2:00 in the morning till 6:00 in the morning on a bunch of cable networks.
Yeah.
We had
go ahead.
Oh no, we had this lady come in, and she wanted to like have her dad's collection, wanted to know what it was worth, and he had bought all these stuff through these mail orders, and like most of the stuff was like gold plated, so many mils or whatever. And
Yeah.
so she when we told her like pretty much most of the stuff was not really worth anything, she offered to bring her dad down like once a month so he could buy like legit stuff for his collection, and he would still get the papers and still buy the stuff, even though we tried to explain to him that it's not worth anything.
Yeah.
I think they're addicted to the packaging on some of that stuff because some of it is in beautiful holders.
Oh yeah, you're paying for the fancy box, and
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the holders cost more money than the coins inside of them.
yeah, and then like all the information of your fake replica thing.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's unfortunate. Again, I was talking about the mainstream media channel that listed that advertisement. It was targeting senior citizens. It said so in the title. And the gold that they were talking about is gold dollars, the single gold presidential dollars. They weren't talking about gold. And they were saying you need to stock up on these and really protect your kids' futures. And now they were talking, when you read the article, they were talking gold, like gold. But the problem was,
high. You need to get this.
well, the problem
was an all-time high and this and that, and then they say golden dollar afterwards.
Yeah, they show you the golden dollar, but they're talking about gold. So people are like, "Oh my God, I have one of those. How much? Oh, it must be worth a lot." And people put, and I did this jokingly. You put an old, beat up, damaged coin in a flip and mark it rare, and somebody will be like, "Oh my God, what the heck? Oh, this is amazing. Look, I found this rare coin." And, it's stamped rare because somebody carved in the coin rare. Right? So
I thought it was stamped rare because it was only 1 minute on each side, still bloody in the center.
Yeah, you got jokes. What's up, Vote for Pedro? How you doing, my friend? But yeah, it's just one of these things where it's like, and I don't own a coin shop. I've never worked in a coin shop. So I know both of you have, I should say. And
I'm not
so
a coin dealer, coin shop. I buy and sell a lot, but
you
I
had been
myself. I have been.
You have a lot of experience in that.
Enough for me.
Yeah. And so, and with Miss Coin Crew and Mr. Coin Crew, obviously working, their shop, they're in Muskegee. Huh?
Muskegon.
I was close. They get people to come in all the time, and they're constantly having to battle the misinformation. So what I wanted to do is, again, just kind of talk with you about some of these items and give you kind of just a couple tips when you're looking at some of these coins. Now, Coin Zone, indeed. Kevin from Coins Making Sense is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Blistering Barnacles, what's going on, my brother from a northern mother? I hope you were doing well. The captain is here. Good to see you. But I want to share something with you guys. So, real quick, last night, actually on Tuesday, I had a good buddy of mine, Steve Looking for Silver, contact me and say, "Hey, we saw that you were going to be doing something for your wife, and we wanted to put something together for you. Would you allow us to do that?" And I'm like, "Dude, there's no need. I appreciate you, but if there's something you want to do, you can do it. Great, outstanding." And so he reached out to Oregon, and they said, "We're gonna do a little something. We're gonna put something out there for you. We're gonna get some money for your wife, so that we can kind of help you out. You've done a lot for the community. We want to help your wife. We absolutely firmly believe that she is doing God's work, so we want to come alongside and help her." So for those of you who don't know, my wife is She works as a hospital. She is in charge of Joint Commission standards and sterile processing. And she goes down with this team from WOGO. It's the Women Orthopedists Global Outreach. And they go to underserved nations or states, cities, whatever, and perform surgeries on women or children who are disfigured and give them back the gift of mobility. It is an amazing organization. And in order to participate in this, you have to, quote unquote, buy in. And so you have to raise a certain amount of money in order to let them know that you're serious about going, because they have to book your travel, your stuff like that. Last night, they came together and the total was a single donation of over $1,200 to my wife, putting us at $1,647 raised. Absolutely blew the goal away. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who came alongside. It was amazing, but wanted to take just a second real quick and say thank you to everybody who did that. So anyway, I can't thank them enough. So cool. Anyway, wanted to do that while people were here. Vote for Pedro's here. Did a lot to really make sure things were in line. See Happy Chappy. The folks came along to just do a lot of good work to really help my wife out. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all. All right, back to the topic. Yeah, absolutely amazing. So there's a couple things that I want to do, Sorcerer Stan. Oh, you guys make me laugh. You guys are hoots. $3 super chat. Can't let Kraken stay on the surface. Nah, you got to take Kraken off. Remove him from that line. But yeah, it's absolutely awesome for them to just do that. Again, I wasn't planning on doing anything major. I was working to do the basic, and so but it was awesome of them. So let's give you some tips and tricks. So Miss Coin Crew, when you have people come in and you guys get road coins or damaged coins or stuff, what are some of the tips that you tell them when looking at social media that they need to be paying attention to? What are some of the pieces of advice that you give people who come into your coin shop?
Well, we send them to places that have like online like legitimate places, because we asked them like what where they got the information from, and they'll like show us, and then we'll be like, yeah, that's not a legitimate place to get your information. But I did have some dude call the other day, and he swears to God he has a copper nickel, like a nickel stamped on or made out of copper, and he has the copper 43 steel cent.
And he might have one, but it might not be real, because they do manufacture the 43 steel cent in China.
Yeah, I told him to bring him in, but I haven't seen him yet. But I told him the odds is not good that he does have one. But I was like, you could bring it in and we can like verify it for you. And if we think it's legit, you should probably get it like certified as genuine.
Well, and that's Eric. Eric brings up a really good point, and that is he might have one. The authenticity is the issue. And
yeah, like
again,
that would have to be certified as genuine.
Yeah. So if somebody comes in and let's say that they have something like that, how do you show them? How do you, quote unquote, for lack of a better phrase, how do you prove to them that it's not real?
Well, I mean, we would look up the specs and do all like the testing on it and stuff, like weight and like, of course, if it was a copper plated steel cent or something, it would stick to a magnet.
Right.
But we have like the little gauge things too that can do the millimeters of it.
So for the folks that are in chat, okay, what other things might you do when you have, can we give them a cognitive test? Oh, in some cases, you definitely want to try that. That's for certain. But in chat, let's go ahead. Just list out some things that if somebody came to you with a coin that you knew was fake or you assumed was fake, where would you send people? So let's say that you have, perfect example, 1943 copper cent comes out. She just mentioned a magnet. We just talked about the weight. What other things might you do to help somebody out? Because what's important, wait, perfect. Okay. What's important to understand is that when you look at this information, right, in order to search coins, you have to understand the coin. You have to know what you're looking for. A great example, test with the Sigma. That works if
or
it's...
an RF. A lot of coin dealers don't have RF guns.
Yeah.
An RF gun will give every little thing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sigma doesn't work on like copper coins and stuff like that either.
Nope. And a lot of times, if you're testing silver, ASEs, especially if the makeup is right, the mixture is right, it'll test okay. It'll be on the edge, but it'll still test as a decent coin. The other thing is,
accurate either.
Send them to a coin shop or send them to a grading company. Now, here's the thing. Okay, I want to be careful suggesting that they send that to a grading company. If they are adamant after you help them and you want them to verify that, you can do so. But if they have a coin show, it's better to send them to a coin show and see if there are people at the coin show who do grading. It's much better to send people there than it is to send people to spend 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 bucks to send in a fake coin, because they're going to come back and they're going to be like, you're an ass. I spent 100 bucks. You recommended that I send this fake coin off. So if you want to protect the hobby, you got to think about ways that you can do stuff. A great one, we have a wonderful resource. She's not here today, but Paula, live coin Q&A, right? Sit with them, take a photo with them, reach out to them, let people know, hey, if you have questions, take good quality photos, livecoinqa.com. Go check them out. There's a bunch of resources. Hey, if you're looking at Lincoln cents, go check out copper coins. Here's the thing. It'll tell you what you need to look for. If it doesn't match, knowledge is key. Information is key, right? So what's really important about looking and being able to combat this is to make sure you do that. So Compton, if you are at a coin show, or if you're near a coin show, or you have somebody that has good experience with grading, it's a great thing to do. Send them to the coin shop. If they're in a coin shop, and Miss Coin Crew can say this, I've heard her and Keith talk about this all the time. Well, or actually Eric mentioned it just a few moments ago himself. You're just trying to take my coin and sell it for more money. You're just trying to rip me off.
Yeah, but if you don't want their coin.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not trying to buy it from you.
We get bad Google reviews all the time saying that we were like jerks, we're liars, we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and so again, the important thing is, and we're talking about, this guy's like, oh my God, save this video for later because you're going to want to have this. Okay, so that automatic.
If you want to find a show in your area, click on coinzip.com.
Oh, thank you for throwing that in there, Ms. Coin Crew. But again, resource information is key. And we have a lot of resources in this community. Now, I'm going to tell you this. You guys know this. And I'll say it every time I talk about coins. I do a lot of research, but I know this much in retrospect to many, 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 many people out there. Okay. I most likely am going to send you to LiveCoin Q&A. If you're talking silver, if you're talking stacking, if you're talking precious metals, if you're talking gold and things of that nature, then I'm going to reference you to a coin shop in your area. I'll help you research a couple. I'll even help you make a couple of phone calls if you want to. We can talk about what's going on, make an appointment, take your stuff in, give you some tips on what not to do. If it's something where you have a really big item or you got duped, I'll probably send you to talk to somebody like Seeker who can actually talk with you about what to look for and how to do. And send you. Now, I may not send you to Seeker himself. I may send you to his channel so that you can see some of the stuff that he's done and provide more information. But again, resource and information is key, right? So when you're looking at these people that are like, you got to watch and save this video for later because the information I'm about to tell you now could make you a millionaire. They're not lying, but it's total deception, right?
Well, they're kind of lying. There's not a lot of coins out there worth $1 million.
Yeah. So, it's kind of funny, right? You see these AI things and they're like, did I ever look up or research Treasure Hunties Tommy Gregory Thompson? I don't know. The name doesn't ring a bell, but I'll have to look up and see. Sometimes I'm like, I've never heard of that. And then I go back and go, oh yeah, I know who they are. So let me look and see, but I don't know. I'll have to write that down. Yeah, Treasure Hunter, Tommy Gregory. Yeah, I don't know. But that's another thing with treasure hunters too. We had a discussion, I think it was last week, about staging stuff, right? You get a lot of people who stage to make it look like they found this amazing thing just so that they can push out videos and have people go, oh my God, they just found this. What happens in that regard is when an authentic find does happen, it's questioned. Because, you know, how many people are going to find certain things in coins? It can't happen, right?
We find stuff all the time. Finding rare, super rare stuff is another thing.
Yeah. So there was one, and because of who they are and knowing what they do, finding gold coin in a wrapped penny roll.
Was that real?
Well, we know who they are. We would have no reason to doubt
I know
it.
who you're talking about, but I didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing, you know, so how do you know anymore what's real, what's not? Here's the other thing with AI. We talked about AI. The problem with AI is that you have some really good generators out there that can put out, as long as you put in good information, you'll get some decent information out. There's a program or two where you can enter text, like you can write a script. You don't even have to write it. You can copy it from a web page, put it into this program, and it will create a video for you. Now, the video
was definitely not AI, and the gold coin that was found was kind of an obscure gold coin. I don't know. I didn't watch the video because it's not anything that's in my wheelhouse of interest, but I did see the tag. And I did see the tag about them trying to defend themselves because they got thrown under the bus.
Yeah, and again, so here's the thing. So when you find stuff in rolls, say again?
One way or the other. I said, how do you prove it one way or the other? Unless you're videoing the roll being opened and it being found why you opened the roll.
But even
really
then,
no way. And you're talking about a 10-hour video to go through a box of pennies. And who would want to do that?
Yeah, so Vote for Pedro says, yeah, I've seen gold prospecting videos that reminded me of the MASH video where Hawkeye painted all the rocks gold. Yeah, and so, but even that, and I wish Paula was here, she'd be able to say the name of the person who talks about the Bettendorf rolls and is able to, I mean, basically look at the roll and say, no, that one's been opened before. There are people who are extremely.
I can show you rolls. I can show you. I know a guy that I think he's passed away. He could re-roll Bettendorf rolls, and you couldn't tell.
Yeah, so
and I'm good.
Watching somebody open a quote unquote open roll doesn't even verify it, right? You really need to trust the integrity of the person that's doing it.
Right.
We have channels that started off being authentic, being good, really wanting to get good information, and the money bug bit them. And now they give out misinformation. They're seeking that next big video. They will give misinformation just to get views. They know it and they don't care. They're supporting scam selling sites in their videos. And I say scam because they use FOMO and they pressure the elderly. And I'm not calling out the video. I'm not calling out the channel. You guys know who they are. We talk about these things all the time. And so the money bug bit them. And so somebody who originally was someone fairly trustworthy, not a bad guy, just, man, chasing money. And so you have to watch some of these. Now,
Pardon me.
We talked about the clickbaity stuff, right? Clickbait isn't a bad thing as long as you follow through and promise.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about Livecoin Q&A, Blue Ridge Silverhound. He does a lot of that clickbaity, thumbnail-y stuff, but he always follows through with what it is that he's talking about. He gives you good
Sometimes
information.
What it isn't, and then he tells you that this is not right.
But he gives you the information and he tells you bottom line what's happening, and he shows you and he walks through, you know, the good, the bad, whether it is or it's not. But he doesn't use the clickbaity as to get you in there, and then, you know, now the video's about, you know, Smurf coins or something like that. I don't know.
Blowing smoke up your rear.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, talking about this, you know, 1955 double die that's actually a 1909 Lincoln set. By the way, that video has been pulled down. It's no longer up because I kept complaining about it as misinformation, and I reported them as a fraudulent channel. And they had about 125 videos that were pulled from their channel. I know because I got notifications over and over and over again, and a lot of the shorts that I had making fun of this particular channel have been removed because the content is no longer viable. So
you know what's the irony with that is they're using AI to pull those videos down.
Yeah, in many cases, yes. Now, again, AI isn't a culprit.
Yeah.
It's based off of somebody who didn't understand what they wanted. They didn't care what they wanted. They're not interested in facts. They're not interested in taking care of the hobby. They're not interested in taking care of its people. It's about chasing money. And we had the discussion. Oh man, where was I? I was in Surfer Stacking. If you guys don't know who Surfer is, he's a good supporter of the channel. I go over and support him stuff. Good guy. Him and I talk quite frequently. And I cannot remember. Andy Sheckman, I think is his name. He had him up and he was talking about looking at some items. And what's really important is people need to understand when you're talking about media, it's not necessarily what's correct anymore. It's who's first, right? It's
true.
Who can put the most information out the fastest is the one who gets the views. Doesn't matter if it's lies. It doesn't matter if it's deceptive. It doesn't matter if it's fraudulent. Whoever gets the information out first is the one who gets the views and gets the money. And so we see that more and more and more. We see it in the media. We see it with social networking. We see it with coin collecting. We see it with gold, silver. We see it when it's talking to money. We see it about, you know, prices of things and stocks and all this other stuff. Every facet of everything that we do comes in. You mean Chris Dwayne from Silver Shield? I'm not sure what that means.
I have noticed.
That could be another person that says the same thing, but this was Andy Sheckman, I believe. But again, it's one of those things where you talk about misinformation. And what I want to try and do is I want to try and provide you guys with resources that we already have in our community and help you guys understand kind of what's good and what's not. Am I your sole source of information? No. This is why I'm always having people on my channel who can talk about stuff in a more educated manner than I can. Now, will I do the research for you? Yes. If you have something that you want me to find, look at, you want me to do a video on something, you can email me, talk with me about it. We'll break it down. The video that I'm dropping on Wednesday was a crest by Philip the Board, right? He said, hey, have you heard about this particular coin? I'm like, not really. He's like, go look at it. I thought this would be interested I thought you'd be interested in looking at some of these items. And this might be something that your followers might be interested in. So I did a research on it and started doing it, and boom, yes, it was there. The one that I did last week, the drop that I did last week regarding Zambia and the new money, the new currency, I had one of my new subscribers email me and say, "Hey, Frosty, what happens when they develop a new currency?" And we have a great example of that.
$15 trillion bill won't be good anymore?
Say that again?
It says, you mean my $15 trillion bill from Zambia won't be any good?
Oh man, I still want one just because I want to say I have one. But again, you know, if you guys want to know the information, folks, I love researching. I love looking stuff up and getting information. This is why Larry's still in here, but my mom calls me affectionately the professor. Because if you ask me a question, I'll try to find the answer for you. And if I can't find it, I will bring in people or I will talk to people and try to do what I can to make sure that I give you that. But I'm not expecting to be your sole source. I want to help. So if you want to do that, you know, come support the channel. Hey, Eric, what's going on, brother?
Hey.
But I don't need to be the only one. What's up, Miss Coin Crew? Sorry.
Oh no, I just noticed like a lot of these are just like stacker channels, like about stacking gold and silver and stuff. Like most of them don't really know anything about coins, but because of their following, like people will take their words for like they know all this about coins and they really don't.
Well, and that's one thing. So I'm gonna do a little plug here, but I'm not gonna drop too much information because we're still working it. Tiger and I are going to put something together because Tiger and I talk about this all the time as Coin Crew. The other thing that Tiger Stacker and I talk about quite frequently when you're talking about stacking and collecting and numismatics is sometimes it's like, hey, I've got this coin and it's really cool. And here's this tube and this tube is really cool. And, you know, this tube sells for $590. I'll sell it to you, you know, at $610. So you buy this tube of Eagles, $610, outstanding. You got a decent price, $3 over spot for a coin. You beat the premiums. As a stacker, you're happy with that. As a collector, I'm going to go through those Eagles and see what years I have. I'm going to be hoping I'm finding a 1996. I'm going to hope I'm going to be finding a 1995. Because then my $600 investment now turns into $700, $800, $900, $1,000, $1,200.
Yeah.
Tiger Stacker and I went through some peace dollars and we did a trade for trade dollar value where he went through his 8 tubes of peace dollars and I was looking to update, and I don't have my book. It's not with me today. But I was going through my peace dollars and I said, hey, I need a couple coins. So he was looking through them and we found 7 coins in trade. I sent him 14 peace dollars that were duplicates that he just wanted for a stack because the 7 coins in value were the same as the 14 that I sent him. So stackers can increase their stacking weight by understanding what coins they have. So it can be extremely beneficial. So Tiger and I are pulling together and we're developing something that's going to be released here shortly. And I'm not going to really talk much about that, but you can expect something to be fun. Actually, Eric, I'm going to include you on a question that I've been asked as well. So, because I know you like doing stuff other than cents.
Yep, I'm full of nonsense stuff.
Yeah, and so
I hate cents.
But it's important because, you know, I like to collect coins, but I also stack as well. I stack for my personal benefit, and offsetting. Generally stunned, yeah. Now he collects motorcycles. That's nice. Yeah. So, but I collect coins. I collect silver. I collect gold. Whatever I have the ability to collect. But when I stack, I'm going to stack the stuff I like. But sometimes the premiums on things are too high. But if I'm going to be looking for information, so let's say I'm going to be buying a gold coin, I'm going to be calling Coin Crew. I'm going to be calling Mike from Mid-America Coins. I'm going to be calling Silver Seeker. I'm going to be calling Minot. I'm going to be asking, because even though they're my friends, I'm going to shop, find the best deal and say, hey, I can find this deal. Can you match it? Because if you can match it, I'll buy it from you. Right? If I have something that I have question about, I'm going to send the photo of a coin to Livecoin Q&A. I'm going to have Paula and Shay and Blue Ridge. I'm going to have them look at it. If I'm looking at 2-cent nickels or 3-cent nickels or 3-cent dimes, if I'm going to be looking at 2-cent pieces or whatever it is, I'm going to be sending it to Mantic Coins, because he's like the 2-cent guru. He loves his denominations that are no longer circulating. And so I have a group of people that is something that everybody needs to have. Am I asking you guys for me to be that person? If you want me to help you, I will help you. I will join your group of stakeholders in your hobby and do that. I will be happy to do that. I'm not your expert. 100%. I'll tell you now.
About like VAMs. So VAMs really interest me. So I'm starting to learn about VAMs. It's like,
yeah. So
I don't have any interest in like looking at modern coins for stuff.
Hey, VAMs is that's where that all starts from. There is lots of VAMs to look for.
Lots of VAMs.
Yeah. So I'm learning all the like technical stuff on it.
And not all VAMs are created equal.
For them basically say you shouldn't be looking for the ones with VAMs. You should be looking for the ones without, because there's not a whole lot.
Well, what I do is I look at the coin first, and then I mark down the areas that don't look right, and then I look to see if it is a VAM.
Yeah.
And if it's not, hey, I'll put it to the side, and maybe like I found something.
Yeah. Well, a lot of VAMs are just die cracks. I mean, everything. They consider a lot of stuff that would not be considered a variety as a VAM.
Oh yeah, like die cracks aren't usually VAMs.
Yeah.
But they have.
But they can be.
Yeah. I found one with like a triangle sticking off the eagle's neck and stuff like that. I look for stuff like that.
Die clashes, whereas they're not really varieties. They're actually like error coins, minor errors. But I guess that's a definitional thing now. There are some people that do think die clashes are variety coins.
Well, and then some of it is like letter transfer.
Yeah, but again,
indirect transfer. Yeah.
Remember, folks, that when we're talking VAMs, okay, this is an important distinction to make. Every single Morgan is a VAM. Every single peace dollar is a VAM.
I mean, they're not, though.
Huh?
They're not, though. Like
they are. No, because a VAM, a VAM is the catalog that talked about a specific pairing of dice. Every die was cataloged. Every single coin is a VAM. The problem is that the generalized VAM, every coin, ask Paula, every coin of the Morgan dollar is a VAM, because the VAM, the listing is just a catalog of die pairings. That's all it is. The VAM itself is the collectible piece. And there are some VAMs that are worth more. There are some VAMs that have more interesting stuff on them. But if you look up VAM, okay, here, I'll pull this up real quick and I'll share with everybody.
Okay. But I mean, they're not considered like, they're not like listed as a VAM. Like there's a lot of them that don't have anything out of the ordinary on them.
Yeah. So hold on.
I look for the stuff you can see. Like I'm not like.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like something I can just like show somebody, not something that pull out the microscope and. Because I don't carry a microscope around with me.
What?
Nope.
Yeah, I get grief at coin shows because sometimes I'll have 4 loops on me. And I go, what are you going to do with all of those? It's none of your
Do you
business.
wear them around your neck?
Okay.
Actually, 2 of them I do. The 2 that I use, I do. But sometimes you need a little more oomph.
Yeah,
And I got one of those in my
carry around
pocket.
with like wear lanyards with your
Yeah,
with your.
4 of them's too much for my lanyard. It'll give me a sore back. 'Cause one of
They're
them's like huge.
individual. Oh, you have a huge one.
Yeah.
Morning, teacher.
All right. So let me share this with you. So here is the Morgan VAMs by date. You can go to VAM World. You can pull all that information up. There's another book that's much more extensive. But basically, just so everybody understands, and this is a common misperception because you think about like when you're talking, and actually, Eric, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you go look at Copper Coins, the YouTube, and look at the one where Chuck broke down the naming convention of like the error and variety? So what RPM means,
I'm not sure what one you're talking about. Was it a live or was it a video?
It was a live stream that he did, and it was at the end of, I'll have to do some research. I'll find it and I'll post it in the description of this video. But what he did is he broke down the naming convention and what it actually means. So for instance, if you're talking about FS01, right? What does that mean? If you're talking about RPM or WRPM 001, RPM 25, RPM 50.
That wasn't a named stream. It was just a stream that was like, we're going to talk.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. But when we're talking specifically about Morgans and peace dollars, I want to kind of read to you what a VAM is. So VAM stands for the 2 names of the people who actually studied and cataloged the difference between the Morgan and the peace dollars. Leroy Van Allen and A. George Malus. So the Van and the Malus is where they get the VAM. Okay. And so that's where the term VAM came from. And all it is it's understanding the various die pairing, the mint-made errors that were created in the producing of these. So these 2 guys went through and actually broke down every die pair. They studied the entire die pair listing and documented every die pair combination and documented die cracks, duplication, doubling on stars. They looked at cleft in the chin, doubling on the face, the hot lips. They look at doubling in the ears, doubling in the hair. They look at shifting in the denticles. They look at little spikes that are there. And they cataloged very thoroughly every single die pair of the Morgan and peace dollar runs. So every one of those die pair listings is associated with a VAM number. So every single Morgan it ever existed, every single Morgan has a VAM number. Now, most people don't look up every single VAM because you don't see much, right? It may be a couple small specs like we would use to quantify the authenticity of a specific coin variety. And so you may not look at every one of them. So when Miss Coin Crew is talking about looking at VAMs, she's looking at very specific information. She's looking for doubling in the star. She's looking for doubling in the nose. She's looking for doubling in the eye socket. She's looking for
stuff I can see. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to have to like scope it and, oh, there's like a dot that nobody can see unless you have a microscope. I'm looking for stuff that's evident.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to be very clear. Now, this is something that Paula is very adamant about as well. I've learned this from her. So if I sound a little bit like her right now, then that's why. But when they talk about, it's like, oh, I found a VAM. It's like, okay, well, cool. Is it in the top 100? No. Well, then PCGS won't grade it. Just, they won't. Doesn't matter if it's a VAM or not. PCGS won't grade it. Is it listed on the VAM sheet? Yes. Okay, cool. What's the number? Okay, we'll look at it. Okay. It's minor. It's fairly significant. It's not listed on the top 100s, but you might be able to send this to ANAX or somebody, and they'll validate it and verify that it is in fact that particular one. And so you can do that if you want to. But I just wanted to be very clear with people that when she's talking about VAMs, every single Morgan and every single peace dollar is a VAM. Okay. So if you have a Morgan or a peace dollar, you have a VAM. It's just there might not be something there that you can physically see. Okay. So I just wanted to clarify that. Again, more information. Didn't mean to, poop on your hat, but I just want people to understand that VAM is the catalog. Hold on. She's showing me her poop hat. That's why I said poop on your hat.
How dare you?
Oh, too much fun. But again, you can go to VAM World, Google that. You'll have a listing of VAMs. You can see the years. It's all sorted out, sorted by years and mint marks. You can go through, you can click on it. It'll tell you those things to look for, give you a good listing. You'll be able to do that. So if you are interested in Morgan and peace dollars, and you are interested in doing what Miss Coin Crew is interested in working at, this is one of the resources that you can go to. So again, this is the type of stuff that I want to help you guys with, is making sure you're clear on what something means. But yeah, she's been doing a lot. And if you watch the auctions in Coin Crew, you've probably seen this. I can tell you that she had this interest, but I can tell you this singular event that caused her to want to look at it more. It was a singular event, and I happen to be the benefactor of that event. Would you concur, Miss Coin Crew?
I think you like to bust a move.
You think I like to
just
bust
saw
a move?
Frosty moonwalking across the screen.
Okay, smart.
Huh? You saw me
In
moon.
my mind, I was imagining it.
Oh, I was like, huh? I didn't include anything on my screen.
I didn't do that.
Well, I'm not seeing anything because I don't look at myself when I stream. So I'm not looking at the stream. I'm not looking at anything. I have a whole bunch of other stuff open. So I was like, hold on, wait, I didn't do something like that? Anyway. Oh, too much fun. So Vote for Pedro said a couple of things I want to go back to. So Vote for Pedro has been into ancients. Okay, he's been into ancient coins. This is something that Sorcerer Stan, I believe, is a collector as well. And so counterfeits, yeah, absolutely. You're definitely going to want to be tracking and understanding if you're going to be collecting ancient coins. Ancient coins, there's way more counterfeits than there are authentic coins.
Yeah, I won't buy them unless they're certified because I don't know enough about validating them.
Yeah, and even then, you really need to check your slabs. Make sure that your slabs are good. Hey, what's going on, Mark? How you doing? Good to see you. Mark Wildstagger is here.
Quahog. He must be on the other side.
He's on the other side, yes. But again, yeah. So ancients are one of those that are definitely very. It's man. You think you have to know a lot about modern coins, man. You get into ancients, and it's a whole nother just world. And I missed your membership call out. Thanks for being a member.
Very difficult to authenticate ancient coins.
Yeah, and there's so many issues with looking at old hammered coins. One of the problems with looking at old hammered coins was that, and we talked about the clipped planchets a couple episodes back. And one of the things about clipped planchets, especially when you're talking about things like the real, is that when they hammered out the coin, if for some reason the weight was off, they would either hammer in additional metal or they would clip off a little piece to make sure it got to the proper weight. So just because you had a clipped coin doesn't mean that somebody took from it. And it made it really hard to quantify what was authentic and what was counterfeit. So it's weird. Chat is weird over here. It's probably non-existent over here because most of it's just Nightbot.
Go to the other side.
Yeah, I get a bunch of people that come in, listen for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then they leave. On the portrait side, what I'm trying to do is just provide people an opportunity. Normally, my viewers are on the landscape side, so the provenance on ancient coins is as important as the coin itself. Yeah, and again, really understanding the history, you really have to get with experts. There are some out there that are really, really good. But I know a coin shop that they get stuff in and he's like, it's certified, so I'm going to take their word for it. And so you got to be careful because just because you have a certified coin.
And here's the thing about ancients. There's a lot of
it's tough
remakes. And some of the actual remakes or restrikes like have been done for some holiday or something like that. Those can actually be worth money. I always got this story. My ex-brother-in-law had this coin and his dad said, it's worth $1 million. And I was like, no, it's not. It's fake. And one day he ended up just taking it in, and there was some expert on ancient coins at some deal, and the guy says, yeah, your brother-in-law's right. It's a fake. He says, but that fake just happens to be worth like $2,000. He says it's a very collectible fake. They only made like 1,000 of them.
Like the Henning nickel.
For some event in the 60s. And he sold it. I was like, wow, good for you. That's great. I would have never known that.
No, and again, this is why you need to surround yourself. And folks, I talk about this, and I had a very well-meaning member reach out to me and say, dude, you're all over the place. And that's because our hobby is level of experience is all over the place. So it's important that sometimes I take things really down to the low level, and sometimes I have to get a little bit more complex. Sometimes I want to talk about stacking because we have stackers in the hobby, and it's important that you protect your wealth. But I also want to talk about the numismatic value of the things that people are stacking.
I always wondered about stacking. I mean, I stack, and I did it because I like it. I like the beauty. I didn't stack to make wealth. And is that the normal reason to stack, is just to become wealthy?
Well, I don't think it's wealthy. So Tiger and I were having a conversation about this the other day off stream. We were just chatting like we normally do. And I told him, I'm like, look, I stack for 2 reasons. One, because if something happens and I need a couple $1,000 real quick, I don't have a lot of fiat. The stuff that is in the bank goes to pay bills. But if I'm going to be spending money, I want to spend money on something that's going to hold value. Because I want to offset my spending with something that it's going to maintain its importance and its value to me.
It's liquidable.
Yeah, and it's okay. So that's another key word right there, right?
Liquid asset.
I want to make sure that I have something that I can quickly liquidate. I'm actually going to reach out, and I want to talk to Pistol Packing Pilot, and I'm going to try and have him on one morning, because him and I have had a discussion. He had this on one of his live streams, but I want him to get about liquidity of your collection, right? And sometimes stackers can liquidate their asset faster than numismatists can, just because of the limited collectability of some of these rarer coins. And he has a set that he's really been trying to sell and liquidate to more of a tangible gold or silver position, and he's just not had the interest. Now, I put him in some contact with people who definitely would, but again, it's one of those things where liquidity is important. So you want to talk about all aspects, because what's important to understand if you're a stacker or you're a collector is that when you're gone, somebody has to be there to understand
hate to be that person.
what you have. Right. And I am big on what Tiger does, because Tiger documents every coin. He has a label maker. He lists how much he paid for it, what it's worth, where he got it from. He keeps it in a spreadsheet. Every coin is in a flip. It's got this label across it. I think I got a couple of coins here. And he says exactly what it's worth, what its value is. I'm trying to find one because he sent me one and I have it. I think I have it here. I may have already put it away.
Now, is that practical value or?
He lists what it's paid, what he paid for it. And then he lists at, like, say he purchased it today. Hey, Eric, take care. Have a good day, brother. He lists what he paid for it and then what the value was on that date. So
that's what's dangerous about like Red Book stuff, is they say, hey, the Red Book says it's worth this much money.
Red Book, by the time the Red Book comes out, it's old date. It's old news.
Yeah, once a year.
Yeah. So you can't use Red Book for value.
No.
Use Red Book for basic coin information, not for value.
Or
yeah, you can't.
Book value.
I use it like mintages and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so again, when you're talking about those kind of things, I talk about a bunch of different things because, again, I'm a collector. I'm a numismatist. I'm a collector. And numismatics includes semi-numismatics and, to some degree, bullion.
Okay? It does. No, it absolutely
and so
does.
It also includes, semi-numismatic, but numismania. So when you're talking about numismania, you're looking at things like collectible tokens, okay? And that kind of stuff is important as well.
Numismatic.
Yeah, that was the main reason I closed my business, was I couldn't do what I liked. It turned into a business and I couldn't do what I liked anymore. And it was basically, I was buying scrap more than I was doing coins. And when everything shot up, I think in 2008, 2009, it went ridiculous. I was like, well, this is the time to step out. And not a lot of people that I used to do business with went belly up at that time.
Yeah.
Because silver was what, $60 an ounce.
Yeah.
And it went from $3 to $60 like in a year.
Well, yeah, but then it came back down afterwards.
You still had to buy. You know, you can't say, I'm not buying right now. You're still buying and selling. And those guys, when it dropped, hell, my local coin shop, he still talks about, he just said, I was fortunate enough to have the capital. He says, I still have silver that I overpaid for sitting in a vault, just so when I go to buy, I don't shoot myself in the foot. There's like a big thing.
We still do too.
Yeah.
we got a roll of maple leaves that we paid $50 a piece on.
Yeah. And he says, I got it in there just to remind me that you can't be too serious about it, or you have to be serious, but not serious enough to put yourself out of business. And like me, I bailed in time. I did really well, but I had friends that didn't fare so well. They lost the farm. So
yeah, we don't deal a lot in like error coins, because it's a niche thing. Like you could get some real cool double die or something, but like you have to get a specific person that wants to buy it. So that's why we don't deal a lot with like the error stuff, because
and I agree. And that's what I was interested in.
It's not liquidable. Yeah,
that's what I was interested in, and I never got to do it anymore. The only good thing that happened out of it is I can look for errors and varieties for the rest of my life and never look through all my coins. That's when he said, when something happens, you have that person that's got to deal with it. I really feel for the person that's got to deal with this.
Your poor wife.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and Chuck. Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah. So whoever it ends up being, oh my God.
Yeah, that's going to be a handful. Well, hey, folks, it is 5 minutes to 10. We got the premiere train kicking off in just a minute. If I can have one of my moderators grab
It's
the
late start today. It's
huh?
late start.
Oh, late start today is 10:30.
Yeah, I think we're missing Gold Sniping Farmer, so we're not starting till 11:15.
Oh, so okay, so we got another 10, 15 minutes. Okay, that's all good. Hey, Gremlin, how you doing, my friend? I love you.
Hi, Ashley.
Yeah, so Pedro said something, and I want to target this because this is something that we have there's stackers, die hard, in the wool. They're only concerned about weight. Anything outside of that, they want the lowest possible price. Their only concern is weight. They give a rat's butt less about numismatic value. If they get a good deal on it, they're stacking. They're for weight. They're for weight only. Then you have me, the collector who happens to stack. Okay. And then you have the collector. They don't worry about stacking. They're not worried about the silver and gold. If they have a silver and gold coin, it's because they bought it for its numismatic value.
Yeah, like it's old school gold.
But he says that he has been ridiculed in various streams to admitting to being a collector of numismatics. Now,
Yeah,
I want to say something, and this is where if you are a hardcore stacker, okay, hardcore, diehard in the wool, all you're worried about is weight, okay, then fine, no problem. I'm going to ask you for a favor, okay? I want you to sell me. I want to go through and I want you to talk about the various coins, and I want you to sell me a tube. Okay, if you're only concerned about weight and you're not worried about the numismatic, I want you to sell me a tube. And here's what I want to do. I want to see if you have tubes. If you've been stacking for a while, I want you to go through and see if you have tubes that are solely 1996, solely 1995, right? Because
constitutional coins. I mean, most stackers have constitutional silver, and to me, that they're coin collectors. They're not silver collectors because that's just not weight.
Thanks, Teach. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, well, but again, so here's the thing, and this is what I did with Tiger, because Tiger was like, "Well, I don't care about that. I'm only concerned about weight." And it was like, "Well, let me share something with you, okay?" And so him and I went through. We were looking through some coins, and he pulled out a Morgan dollar, and I said, "Okay, let's go through some of your Morgans." And I said, "Do you have any Carson Cities?" He's like, maybe I might have a couple." And I was like, "Cool." And so he reached in. He's like, "Okay, do you have it?" It's like, "Look at your spreadsheet. Tell me how much you paid for it." He's like, I paid like $80 for this Morgan. I don't understand why it was so expensive, but a lot of people were saying they wanted to have it, and I sniped it and I got it. And they were saying you got to steal and whatever. It's, okay, not a big deal. So we were going through some of his coins. We went through, I think we were going through like maybe 20 or 30 coins, and we did calculation of numismatic value versus the weight value. And I was like, so you have, $450 or whatever it was. I think it was the tube, $500 worth of Morgans, outstanding. Here's the numismatic value, which was close to $1,700. And he's like, huh? It's like, so sell those, go to a coin shop, sell those, take them out, show them what you have them sell the purchase underneath, see the values, get your whatever, and then go buy more stack. Go buy 3 tubes worth that one. Right? It's really important as a stacker that you understand the numismatic value, especially if you stack junk silver, like the Morgan dollars, the peace dollars. If you're stacking things like ASCs, things like that, it's important that you understand, if you've been doing it over a long time, what those years are. Am I asking you to go through every coin and look at every VAM, every variety? No. Look at the years. Look at the mint marks. And just kind of be familiar with what you have. You might have one coin in that tube that's worth the entire value of that tube. Right? You might have the ability to double the stack in a single coin. So if you're really concerned about weight, your premise to me doesn't make sense. Because I can show you how you can double your weight in a tube if you have the right coins. I've showed this with doing this with Tiger. I've showed this with going through other people, laying stuff out, looking at the tubes, looking at coins, finding different varieties, finding different things in those tubes, and them turn around and being able to buy, sell a 10th ounce gold. They wanted to trade 10th ounce golds up for an ounce. Don't ever do that. You're losing too much money on premiums. Go trade that 10th ounce gold for a 10 ounce bar. Copy a bunch of them and then turn around and take those 10 ounce bars, take 6 of them, 7 of them, 8 of them, whatever it is, and go buy your 1 ounce gold. You've saved your premium. You have 30 ounces of silver still, and now you have your 1 ounce gold. So be smart about how you do it. Understand the values, understand premiums, understand the worth of the coins, and then you can be a smart stacker. Right? So I don't want stackers losing money.
Frosty.
Say again?
This is all the bullion dealers just went, thanks, Frosty.
Well, but the thing is again, if you were looking to better your position, no one's going to fault you for trying to get the better deal. Now, what I won't do is I will not go to Coin Crew and say, hey, I know I paid $300 for this 10th ounce. I've got 10 of them. I'm going to sell you 8 of them or 7 of them, and I want you to give me this because you owe me a good deal. Or I know this is what this is worth, and I need you to give me the straight cross face value for this. They're not going to do it. I'm not going to put them in that position. And it's ignorant for people to come by and say, I paid $200 for this coin, so you're going to give me $200 for this coin. It's not how it works. They have overhead. They have money that they need to make.
That is exactly what a lot of people don't understand. They say, I got this ounce of silver that's worth $30 because it says so on the internet. And then when you say, well, I'm just throwing a number out here. I'm not saying what I'll give you 28 for it.
Have a good one, Teach.
I was going to say, I'll give you 28 for it because I need to make $2 to keep my lights on.
Lights on, and you got help to pay. You got wage. You got all this stuff to pay. People don't understand it. That's like, as much as I don't like the model of Littleton coin, a lot of people give them a lot of grief. But if you saw their operation, it's huge. They've got overhead that you wouldn't believe. So they sell a lot of stuff well over like spot in retail and stuff like that.
Well, they do the packaging. You're paying for their packaging.
That too. And their packaging is not good because it's basically just laminated plastic bags half the time. But I'm just saying, there's so much that people, and I get it. I mean, there's a lot of places that won't sell silver at spot. They'll sell silver, and so say it's $30 an ounce. They'll sell it for 31 or 32.
I can't get silver at spot.
Yeah, that's right.
If I go to order silver, they're not going to give it to me at spot.
And if you do, you're
fortunate.
emptying your pocketbooks because
you're fortunate.
Buy a ridiculous amount of silver.
Yeah.
Spot price is unprocessed silver. It's not.
Right. Well, actually spot price is paper silver. It's contract.
Here's
silver.
the thing about spot price. Okay. If the smaller the denomination, now I'm talking about 1/20th, 1/10th, half ounce, ounce, 2 ounce, 5 ounce, 10 ounce. The smaller the denomination, the more you're going to pay for it. Okay. So I want to show you this. So let's say, and I want to show you just kind of generalized math. Okay. Let's say right now we're talking about 10th ounce Britannias selling for about $280, $285. I'm going to say $285 just because I did the math on this the other day. Okay.
I'll pay you a higher premium on a 10th ounce than I will a whole ounce of gold.
So I'll show the math real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, and we're going to say that you bought 10 of these. Okay. So you had $2,850 is what you paid out. Now, this doesn't count your shipping or whatever. That's just for the coin. Okay. Now, right now, a 10th ounce of gold is $2,400. Okay.
No, an ounce of gold.
Or an ounce of gold. Sorry. An ounce of gold is $2,400. So if I take $2,400 away, you're losing $450. Okay. So if you take 10th ounces of gold and you trade it straight across the board for a 1 ounce, you're losing $450. Okay. So let's take that as a basic premise. Now here we take that same 285. So Miss Coin Crew, how much is a 10 ounce silver bar worth right now?
A 10th ounce?
A 10 ounce silver bar.
Oh, a 10 ounce? $2 over spot.
Okay, so
I mean, that's what I would sell it for, like $2 over spot.
okay, so let's say that it's what, $290?
If it's 30, I'd charge you $320.
$320. Okay, so here, very cool. Okay, so we have our $285, right, that we paid for our gold eagles, and you do that by 10. Okay, and we have our $2,850. Now, let's say that you take that 10th ounce gold and you find somebody who wants to do a trade straight across for a 10 ounce silver bar minus $20. So let's say that you have to pay them $20 or $25. In this case, we'll say $25. That puts it at $310. Okay. So we're going to do another $250 because $25 times 10 is $250. So we're going to plus $250 here. Okay. That's $3,100. Okay. So if you can do that 10 times, then you're going to have $3,100 in your pocket by trading up. Even paying $2,500 out, you're going to have $3,100. Now, if you take those 10 ounce bars, you still have 10 of them at $300 and you trade them in, how many of them are you going to need to come up to $2,400? You're not going to need 10. You're only going to need at $300. Okay. So if you divide that by, well, let's see, hold on a sec. Let me cancel the math. So let's take 7 times 310.
Math is hard.
So it's going to be 8, okay? So 8 times 310. Oops. Okay, $2,480. All right, so what I want you to think about here is we had $3,100. If you're going to trade the 10 ounce silver bars, now you're sitting at $2,400 and you still have 2 10 ounce silver bars left at $310 per bar. Because remember, that was the price that we got those for, right? $310. So before, if you traded the 10th ounce golds up, you lost $400. But if you trade it in for the silver, you get the right price. Now that gold is 80 to 1 still, and you trade that back down. If you go through and you're able to do that, then now you've made $600.
People fail to realize, though, like on a 10th ounce gold, they're like, oh, you're paying a premium. But literally, if I took 10 1/10 ounce golds and sold them to a dealer, I could take that money and go and buy an ounce of gold and have some money left over.
Yeah, there's always a premium on 10th ounce. Even when you buy them, they cost more because there's manufacturing costs.
Okay, now remember when I'm talking about doing this, I'm talking about trading out, because a lot of people will say, hey, I've got 10 of these. I want to buy an ounce of silver, because they're not going to take it for 8. They're going to, most shops, and I'm not saying you guys would do this, but most shops will try to get what they can. They'll try to get the best deal. But I'm talking about straight trades. I'm not talking about taking it and investing it and doing whatever. I'm talking about straight trading. Okay. And it's important because a lot of people in the community straight trade. I have traded 8 ounces of silver for a 5 ounce bar because it happened to be a Geiger and I wanted that particular one. It happened to have a serial number on it that I wanted. So I was willing to trade 8 ounces for 5 because the premium on this particular one balanced me out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about trading. So you have to be smart. As a stacker, you have to understand the math. You have to understand your premium. You have to understand these things. And stackers understand that math. They can understand trading and understanding what it is. So you don't sell silver right now to buy gold because you're going to be losing money on the item. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you buy silver at the right time. And then when the gold ratio comes down, trade it in for gold, right? That's when you want to do it. That's when your investment starts to make money. That's smart stacking. Keith and Mike have talked about that along with Silver Shaker quite frequently, about watching that gold to silver ratio when you're talking about doing that. This same process is extremely important when you're looking at the numismatic side. It's important to understand the coin. It's extremely important to understand the date, the mintages of certain items, because those are money. They're money for you. So when you have a hardcore stacker that says, I'm not interested in that, I don't mind. It's like, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But what I want to do is I want to give you information that says I might be able to help you increase your stack. Give me a little bit of time. I'm not asking for you to become a numismatist. Give me a little bit of time. Let's walk through a couple items. Let me teach you a couple key elements, a couple key points that you can utilize to help increase your stack. That's all I'm asking for people to do, is allow me the opportunity to help them. So again, am I asking for gold right now is 76.45 to 1. Okay. Thanks for the update. I was off by 3.5%.
I don't grasp the gold to silver ratio because numbers are not my thing.
Well, and again, numbers are not a lot of people's things, but money speaks. Right. And when you tell them you can trade 8 for something instead of 10, they see profit. And so, again, I just want people to understand that when they're looking at these kind of things, whether you're a stacker, whether you're a collector, whether you're a stack collector, which, I do both. So I'm a little bit of both. I have my foot firmly planted into both worlds.
I've never bought anything for weight ever.
Yeah. So again, it's just really important. So I know that we're at time. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. If I can have one of my moderators, please throw in the link to the Premier Train. And as always, please do me a favor, let them know that I sent you over there. I just, because of time, had to leave the Premier Train. There was too much to do. 2 live streams, 2 videos, and spend time with family. I would love to be able to do more, but my family asked for some of my time back. So it's important that I do so. Miss Coin Crew, thank you so much for coming up. Eric, as always, I always appreciate you being here. Thank you for all the support you give this channel.
You all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon.
Take care, brother.
I do know stuff.
Miss Coin Crew is smart. You guys don't take her.
And charming. Don't forget that.
Indeed. Don't take her. Hold on. What just happened here? What just happened here? I just got a notification, but where's my notification thing? I got a notification, but there's no notification. Oh, Joseph Hooper just subscribed. Woohoo. Thank you for the subscription, bud. Thank you. I was like, hold on. I heard a sound, but nothing happened. All right, new subscriber. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, folks, we'll go over, click on that Premier Train. I've got an appointment to get to. They scheduled me an MRI at 9 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Who does that? The VA. All right. Anyway, folks, thank you, Miss Coin Crew. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
You have a wonderful day. If you find any ship coins, let me know.
See you,
all right.
Frosty.
Take care, Eric. I appreciate you guys. And again, Kraken, Sorcerer, Stan, Farm Dog, Anna, thank you all for the super chats and the memberships. I appreciate your support. I hope you have a great time there in Orlando. Ladies and gentlemen, love you, appreciate you. And